What up? So I'm gonna talk about guarding your heart, why it's important, especially in today's times, right? So first of all, like, we in a spiritual war, like, and I be forgetting that shit too, cause like sometimes I get drawn into the matrix and I'll forget like we in a spiritual war, but we in a spiritual war. So like, even though like, we pushing love and peace and harmony and like that type of stuff, it's still like war. Like, it's still, you still gotta be on point. You still gotta be aware. You still gotta be cautious. You still gotta be lucid. You still gotta know what's going on. But like, one thing I've been realizing, bro, is like, you gotta keep your head up, but keep your head down at the same time. Cause keeping your head up, like, in terms of like surveying the field of knowing like how to move and knowing who's who, of knowing where to go, knowing where not to go, like of knowing what's coming, of just being in the know. But at the same time, keep your head down, because it's like I'm a Scorpio, right? So it's like I'm super empathetic, and when your energy start expanding and you start like embodying like a fuller, more whole version of yourself, like, first of all, Scorpio is already magnetic, and I'm a life path 8, so it's like my whole journey in life is about drawing things towards me, right? And when I was younger, like, I used to repel a lot of stuff because like I really didn't know how to deal with energy when I was younger, like, and being so empathetic, I used to get like super overwhelmed. I didn't know how to regulate my emotions. I didn't know how to regulate my nervous system. I didn't know how to like deal with stress properly, and I didn't know how to communicate effectively. So like, I had to learn all those things. I'm still learning, right? I'm still growing. But like, one thing you gotta realize is you gotta know how to, like, when it's time to block out like unnecessary things, right? Especially when like, because the thing is, like, when you are a certain person, like, things happen in a certain way, and the more you become self-aware, like, you start to understand why things happen. You start to understand what's happening. You start to understand why it's happening, and you start to understand like your reaction is what determines like what happens next, and that shit is super important. Like, your reaction is what determines what happens next, and staying calm is super important. Like, staying cool, staying collected, staying like in your centering yourself in your heart is important. But at the same time, operating from your heart space, you gotta guard your heart too. Cause, man, like, I'm gonna explain it like this, right? Imagine you walking through life, right? And everybody's light is dim. But like, when you start growing, like, you start realizing like, damn, my light isn't dim. And once you realize your light isn't dim, it's like you start getting brighter. You start getting brighter. But as you start getting brighter, like, everybody around you is like, damn, why is this person so bright? And to some people, it irritates them because they used to being in the dark. So it's like, they'll try to stop you from shining because it's irritating them. For other people, they want to shine too, so they might encourage you. For other people, they are just watching you shine because it's like you shining, so they just watching. That'd be most people. Most people just watch you shine. But in the same time, like, they throw projections about your shine and like what's behind it, what's causing it. Like, oh, how long is this person gonna shine? I bet they won't shine that long. Or all this unnecessary noise that you don't got to worry about, right? And that's what I'm saying. You got to guard your heart, because your light is yours. It's not for everybody. And that's one thing I really had to learn. Like, and like, when you start becoming more light, at first you're under the illusion that like you're supposed to spread light everywhere and be so loving and all of this. But it's like, the reality is, bro, your light is yours. Like, although the world benefits from your light, you got to make sure that you get an equal like exchange for what you're giving. So if you giving the world all this light and you're not getting that same light back, you got to reevaluate. Like, because the world is not necessarily about good and bad. The world is about like balance and awareness. So like, if you, that's why people be saying like good people get taken advantage of, because like being a good person is not necessarily what people think, and being a bad person is not necessarily what people think. It's about balance. Sometimes you got to be bad, sometimes you got to be a villain, and that like is the good thing to do, because it's like you got to balance something out. And sometimes you got to be good, and you might take a hit in that moment for being good, but in the long run it'll help you, because you building good karma, which is dharma. And dharma is a concept which is like good fortune. And karma is, even karma could be good depending on how you operating. That's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily about good and bad. Like, because you might do something that somebody perceives as bad or people perceive as bad, but like in your universe and the way your journey is operating, like you had to do that in order to put yourself in a better position, which ultimately puts everything in a better position. So like, but it'd be different as a black man, bro, in today's world, because it's like, bro, it's so much stuff going on. Like it's so much stuff going on, bro. Like, and when you have like a personality that is meant to like be broadcasted to people and stuff, like it'd be so tricky, because like, one, the same thing people will love you for is the same thing they'll hate you for. That's one. Two, bro, people, bro. Bro, it's an attack on black men, bro. And this shit been going on, but like, if you're not a black man, you wouldn't know. And if you're a black man, you're not aware of who you are, you wouldn't know either. So it's like, bro, like, it make you not even want to shine, because you already know people gonna try to tear you down. And it's a different type of resilience and a different type of like fortitude and a different type of composure that you gotta have. So like, past being a black man, right? Because that's matrix limitations, right? When you're trying to reach a goal, when you're trying to elevate, when you're trying to work on yourself, when you're trying to improve, bro, you gotta block out like all this stuff. So it's like, even as you taking in information, you taking in energy, you gotta also know how to filter that, and you also gotta know how to like, when it's time to like, all right, block out everything. Let me just focus on this right now. Like, and you gotta understand, like, the bigger you get, like, the more your energy is expanding, the more people can see you, the more people have access to your energy. Like, that's why you got to be careful about what you ask for. If you say like you want to be a certain person, or you even think about being a certain person, or you project yourself as a certain person, you gotta really understand what comes with that, and you gotta like guard your heart, like for real, like, and you gotta understand, bro, who you dealing with. Like that's the most important thing, bro, because like, man, you don't understand how, like, as me being a life path 8 Scorpio, like all that type of stuff, right? Like I'm like directly impacted by my environment. So it's like if I'm around people who really don't have my best interests, like it's gonna rub off on me. And the thing is, like, I'm not a mean person, but at the same time, like I like I'm very like intense. So it's like if I really don't like something, like I'm a really not like it. If I really like something, I'm a really like it. But like that's in between space where like people be flogging and like playing, like that's what be irritating me, bro. And that's why, like, me being a Scorpio, I'll cause a transformation, or I'll cause a situation to transform, cause like I see like it's going in a direction where things are like off, and I'll be like, all right, what we doing? Like, we doing this or we doing that? Cause like, bro, you really don't have time to play with people, bro. When you really on a mission, when you really chasing something, when you really like attracting and building something and manifesting, bro, you don't have time to play with people. So like, and you gotta love and respect yourself enough to know, like, bro, I'm not finna do this. Like, I'm not finna do this. So like, you gotta keep your heart open and live from your heart, but at the same time, bro, you gotta know, like, sometimes you gotta think, and sometimes you gotta, even though your heart could be telling you one thing, you gotta know, like, I can't move that way because it's not gonna be beneficial to me. Because even though your heart is important, like, your heart can be fooled by emotions, bro. And emotions change like hella quickly. Like, one day you could be feeling like this, the next day you could be feeling like that. One day somebody could be feeling like this, the next day they could be feeling like that. And it's not like there's no like real, like, I don't want to say structure. There's no real like template. Like, there's no real, like, literally a random event could happen that completely changes the way somebody sees you or the way you see somebody, and like nobody would have been able to control it, but it just happened. And that's why it's like, in terms of being in your heart is like who you really are at your core. So like, past all the black, the I'm a woman, from here, like, I believe this, I voted for this person, like, past all that, like, who you are as a person, as a soul, like, that's what your heart is. But you can't always express that because, like, sometimes that is too abstract for the construct that we're in. So it's like you have to create an ego and do certain things and all that. But like, what I'm saying, bro, is like, guard that version of you that's pure. Guard that version of you that like is loving and giving. Like, don't give that to everybody. And when you do open up and give that to people, make sure that they really on a frequency to receive that, bro. Like, and that's something only you know. And the truth is, bro, like, it's very few people who are really on a frequency to receive who you really are. You gotta cherish those people. Like, the majority of people, bro, they can't really receive fully who you are. And through your own journey of self-love and like self-acceptance, you're gonna start to come to a place where you're cool with yourself. But you shouldn't be alone, and that's another trap and illusion. But just make sure that the people who you are around, who you really fuck with, who you exchange your energy with, who like you deeply intimate with, make sure they really on your frequency for real, bro, and really like press the issue, like really like get on that. Like, for me as a Scorpio, I gotta test people, cause like people be playing, and the way my life is and the way my life is going and the way I see my life, like, bro, I can't be around people who playing, because, like, I really know what could really happen. But the main point of this video is guard your heart, bro. We're in a spiritual war. Like, really. You don't gotta give all your energy out to everybody just because you got all this energy. Learn how to pour it into yourself. Learn how to manage your energy. Learn how to create. Learn how to move your body. Learn, like, all these things. And also learn, like, proper reciprocity when dealing with people. Like, learn how to give, learn how to receive, and learn to spot when somebody can't receive your energy and when somebody can't reciprocate your energy. Because you don't want your energy leaking when you're trying to manifest or when you're trying to build something, because then it's like it'll take longer and your vision starts to get clouded because, like, you got your head up paying attention to too much of the outside world instead of inside staying focused or just down, focus on what you got going on. But yeah, love.